It's
Ooh.
amazing to me how we can look at somebody else in the same exact situation and we can hold all the compassion in the world for them. We can love them through it. We don't judge them. And then when we're in the same situation, my goodness,
We just got to stop that shit.
just gotta stop that
Just
shit.
stop it. Who the heck are you to get in the way of what is coming to you by virtue of the good you bring into the world and the who you are?
Welcome back to Unapologetic Rabble-Rousers. I'm DocShellie.
And I'm Carla Lewis. So we've chewed on some pretty interesting topics over these last couple of episodes. So Michelle and I were talking about what makes sense as a way to maybe bring this to some kind of not so much conclusion, but perhaps an invitation to what's next. So there's so many ways we could call it. Michelle, what did we settle on?
I think we landed on when the mirror becomes a minefield,
Mm.
self-aware and still sabotaging. So what we're really looking at is what happens when you know your patterns, you see your growth, and still you sabotage your success.
And I, for one, can relate to this even just recently, like in the past probably 2 years. And I know we've talked about this before, but the notion of I'm out there, I'm plying my trade, and I'm out connecting with businesses and all this kind of stuff. And there's this nagging thing in the back of my head. It says, what what happens if you are successful? Are you really ready for that? Are you ready to be successful? Do you know what it's going to take? So you know how to get there, but how to sustain it? Huge, huge challenge, huge issue. Being afraid of what it is you're actually pursuing, afraid of achieving what it is that you're actually targeting. So I bet I'm not alone. And I have called that the fear of success. I'm not sure that's the right title, but I can tell you that the struggle, that's real. I want to
Yeah.
do it. I want to do it. I want to do it. What if I do it? If I do it, then maybe it'll work.
Oh my
What
God, I
if it
can't do
works?
it.
Yeah, it's vicious.
It's for me when I think about that it's self-sabotage. We can call it whatever we want. At the end of the day, it's all the thoughts that are going, oh my God, all these things are going to happen. You're going to lose your people because you're going to get too big for your britches. You're going to need to spend more money to make more money. You're going to have new systems, yada, 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 yada.
Hmm.
It looks like overcomplicating. It's having to pivot when you don't want to. It's procrastinating getting there because, oh my God, what happens when I get there? And a little bit pretending now is not the right time. I speak from experience when I
Pray,
say all of those things.
pray tell of this experience.
I can do it with any number of things, but many years ago I had my own business and I was killing it. I had great clients, I had a couple cash cows, and I kind of freaked out. It was like, oh my God, like I need to hire more people. I can't do this by myself. I need to hire more people. And like my dad and I worked together, but we didn't see eye to eye in a lot of things and a
Mm.
lot of ways to run the business. And it's like, it's my business. I'm going to do it my way. So you either get on board or go do your own damn thing. And it was a lot of overcomplicating things that didn't need to be overcomplicated. There was pivoting where I didn't need to pivot, and a whole lot of procrastination of getting new clients because I can't manage it all.
So the
I probably
overcome
could have managed it all.
probably, and so that's I'd like to dig into that because you talked about overcomplication, you talked about pivoting. So what are those are responses
Mhm.
to something. And while it turns into something that could be self-sabotage, in the beginning, that's not how it feels at all. You're not stepping out and saying, "Oh, I'm going to make some plans here that are going to get in my way. I'm going to
Oh,
go do
no,
some shit that's going to really slow my progress."
no. I got to a point that I got there quick, which I was
Mhm,
not anticipating.
mhm,
And then all of a sudden it was like, I can't manage all these clients by myself. Now, if I am going to manage all these clients by myself, then I can't fill my pipeline because as a entrepreneur, got to keep filling the pipeline.
mhm. Yeah.
So you get invited to stages, you get invited to client things, you keep doing what you need to keep doing. And in the beginning, it was all great. And then all of a sudden it was like, oh crap, I'm not ready for this. I don't have all my systems in place. I don't have a team of people to do all these things for me.
You become the bottleneck of your own
Yeah.
entrepreneurial business. And that's, I think every entrepreneur faces that. And maybe that's some of the primal concerns that our brain throws in there because
Yeah.
you don't, I don't know if we're programmed. Is it as a woman? Is it just as a human that you plan for great success out of the gate? Or we even think about what success would look like and how much can I handle before you actually go out and get it.
Yeah, I did all those things. I took all the classes. I worked with a coach. I worked with a consultant. Like I did all those things.
Mhm.
And it came faster than anyone anticipated.
Mm.
It wasn't my 5 year plan. My 5 year plan happened in about 8 months. It was a problem.
It's a, and there are those who would be saying, "Oh, that'd be a nice problem to have." It's not a nice problem.
Right. It was a nice problem to have, except it wasn't. And so it just our brains just start to loop. And we have so much different technology now that is available than we did back then. Like we've got there's probably 800 apps out there that could have done 90% of what I needed done, you know,
And it
that
is
we
all a
have
matter of timing,
today.
isn't it? Hmm.
Yeah. So, like I said, it was a problem. Good problem, bad problem, doesn't matter. It was a problem.
Okay.
But it was that overcomplicating, procrastinating, pretending it's not the right time. It, as much as I can say I was pretending it wasn't the right time, I got stuck.
Okay.
And yeah, it was, I don't know, if I can't come back to our topic here, it's that internal loop of, I know I'm in a certain spot. I need to do something different. What is it going to look like? How am I going to do this differently? And there was a lot of insight, probably not enough action. Didn't know how to ask for help at the time, or didn't know how to ask for the right kind of help, I guess would be my probably what really got in my way was I didn't know who to ask and I didn't know how to ask and I didn't know what kind of help I really needed.
I'm just going to add there might have been a fourth dimension there, which was nobody is going to be able to help me the way I would help me. If I could find me out there to come in and help,
Yeah, that is often the case, but in this instance, no, because there's things I simply didn't know. I
mm,
need somebody who doesn't think like I do to fix the things that I don't know how to fix.
okay.
Yeah, but it was, I didn't know. And I also had a lot of people that were like not real supportive of my having my own business. There was a lot of naysayers, and so I'm certainly not going to go ask them for help.
Right. Okay. So it's interesting. You're giving yourself a thumbs up. I love that. Oh no, I'm giving you a thumbs.
You are giving me a thumbs up.
I never saw that before. So people who aren't watching, I have no idea how that just happened, but it was flashing a thumbs up.
I was like, I didn't do that.
I just, weirdest thing. Okay, I'll just go ahead and cut that out.
But I think when we think about looking at this kind of myth of once I'm self aware, I'll stop doing it, right? Awareness is a step, it's not a cure. It can sometimes make us judge ourselves even harsher than we would without the self
Okay.
awareness.
Yes. All right.
And doing the proverbial work, whatever it is, has to go beyond just naming the patterns that we're seeing, the thing that we're seeing. So that internal loop of, I know I can do this, I know I can change, but I'm not.
Yeah.
It can
So
go with anything. It can
can.
be as simple as working out, dieting. Like it can be as simple as that. Doesn't have to be a big, oh, I'm going to start my own business.
Yeah. But the awareness as it's fuel for everything that follows, but it is not the end game.
Hmm.
Awareness is important. And if we don't take that time to say, oh, this is a good thing for me to consider right now, let me
Hmm.
just take a look, take an assessment. Where am I? What am I thinking? How am I feeling? And in support of actions that will get you safely across these what might be turbulent waters that are going to come. That's
Hmm.
just because I think that's how nature works. That if you really want it, we're going to make sure you feel like you earned it.
Hmm.
But
And therein lies a big problem, especially for women. Success isn't scary because we're going to fail. It's scary because we might actually have to admit to ourselves that we deserve it.
that word itself is a difficult one for me. Deserve. What the heck? I understand how Webster defines it and such, but that owning that's hard.
Why is it hard?
Great question, Doc.
Ah,
I am not throwing this back in your lap. But the notion of what does it mean to deserve something? If I work for it, did I earn it? And there gets into there it gets me into this space about trading value for return. I,
hmm.
and so what does deserve mean? Because I think it's a big question. I think it's a huge question that stops people. What does it mean to deserve something? How do I give myself permission to accept that success is something that is okay, that it's okay?
I had a coaching client many years ago, and he had this insanely cluttered off. I can't even say cluttered. It was just a horrifically disastrous office aesthetic to the point where he wouldn't even allow customers into his office.
Okay.
It was mounds and mounds of, he was embarrassed to let me in. It was mounds and mounds of paper. There was no room for anyone to sit at his desk, including himself. There was paper stacked on the floor. There was books stacked all over the place, just chaos. And when we walked into his office, he said, "Oh, I got to move some stuff so we both have room to sit." Like all the chairs even had stuff on it. And I was completely non-judgmental. I am by far from it. I am far from a neat freak. So no judgment in it. But I asked him the question as we were talking about one of his goals was to have an organized office and to be able to maintain an organized office. I am not an organizer. But we were talking about it and I asked the question, do you feel like you deserve or why I can't remember exactly how I phrased it, but basically it was do you deserve a organized office? This grown man burst into tears.
Hmm.
And I was like, okay, interesting. What's this about? And he was like, I don't I don't even know how to think about that question because I don't even know if I deserve the business that I have. So you're asking me about an office space, and I'm thinking, I don't even know if I deserve this huge business that I'm running. It was a very interesting conversation.
It helps it makes me feel a little quieter about the fact that the notion of deserving something isn't it's not a given that people understand what that is or can appreciate and even want to fight for, work for, accept, even
Hmm.
receive that.
Hmm. So I had to drop it in to my chat GPT to ask the
Okay.
question, what does deserve mean?
Okay.
And he responded, oof, that question is deceptively simple and deeply loaded.
That's because he knows you.
And he does know me. At its core, deserve means to be worthy of or entitled to something based on qualities, actions, or inherent value. The truth is, how we define deserve is shaped by our conditioning, and it's not always healthy.
Wow. And we have talked about in our vernacular the old tapes that are
Hmm.
running deep inside that the recordings, the training, the learnings, the modeling from long, long ago.
Hmm.
Wow.
Hmm. Yeah. I find it interesting if you think about deserve feels entitled.
It does.
And that word entitled can bring some negative connotation. But if we think about it in just a different way of I don't have to prove my worth, I don't need to hustle, I'm allowed to receive just because I am who I am. I am a human being, therefore I deserve. Take some of that angst out of the word. It's amazing how much power we can give one word.
It is. And I think that's exactly it. What you just talked about. It's okay for me to receive.
Hmm.
It's okay for me to say, I am contributing great value, and in exchange, I should be willing and can be and am willing to receive compensation in this particular case, whatever it might be. But receiving versus being entitled or deserving, there is, I was going to say, there's some hoity-toityness to that, but I think there is something about that, those words, that those notions being reserved for those who have achieved something great, something laud worthy, something that deserves a ribbon or a trophy or a medal, not just being all in it, giving you everything I've got day to day stuff.
Hmm. It's interesting because I'm thinking like different ways you can think about that word deserve, right? And if I work hard, I'm good, I give to other people, I follow the rules, then maybe I do deserve some success. Or conversely, there's only so much can go around. I'm not sure I deserve it because someone else has done a lot more work than I have. Or it could be rooted in shame too, because of what I've done in my past or what I haven't done in my past. I don't deserve good things. Again, I see all three of these things come up with my clients now that we're
Mm-hmm.
diving in and I'm thinking about this and processing this a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
Three different ways that word deserves shows up. It's like shame, it's transaction, and it's I don't know what that middle one would be like. Only there's only so much to go around.
Supply and demand. Huh?
Yeah.
And then there's the who gets to decide how much goes to who.
We get to decide. That's the thing. We get to decide. We have to decide we deserve it. We're worthy of it. We don't have to prove it to anyone. No one else is going to hand you success. No one else is going to hand you what you deserve. You got to go out and get it. You got to put yourself out there.
And the getting is the doing that we're holding ourselves back
Back
from
from. Exactly.
via self sabotage because of all of the stuff that we covered 15 minutes ago
Yeah.
and 85 episodes worth in
Yeah. So
some
if
way,
we
shape, or
think
form.
about, yeah, exactly. So you think about, I forget what we titled this episode, look at the mirror piece
Mm-hmm.
of like, we look in the mirror, we have to understand the difference between looking at the reflection and ruminating on it. Are we over analyzing stuff? Are we looping through thoughts? Are we weaponizing self work against ourselves? Because I
Are
see
we?
that happen all the time too. But
Yes.
I think we have to learn how to hold that mirror with some self compassion. It's okay. We're all a work in progress. Why is it okay for everyone else to be a work in progress, but not you?
I think that's such an important reflection, Michelle. None of us are getting it right. We're getting it the best we can.
Exactly.
And that in and of itself is worth celebrating. I may not be perfect, but I'm the best I can be. And when I know that that isn't a truth and I'm fooling myself, that's on me.
Yeah.
to step inside, to step in front of and in some way belay that which is coming towards you in response to and in reward of who you are, how you do, what you do, that we just got to stop that shit.
Just gotta stop that shit.
Just stop it. Who the heck are you to get in the way of what is coming to you by virtue of the good you bring into the world and the who you are?
Yeah.
Damn it.
Damn it. I think I agree with everything you said. And I would just say we have to stop throwing rocks at our own reflection. Like, it's
Ooh,
amazing to me how we can look at somebody else in the same exact situation and we can hold all the compassion in the world for them. We can love them through it. We don't judge them. And then when we're in the same situation, my goodness, the words that we tell ourselves, the things that we say, the stuff we look at when we look in the mirror, like stop throwing rocks at your own reflection.
and
Be kind to yourself. Hold that mirror with some grace instead of grit. What if you don't have to prove your self-worth? What if you don't have to hustle for your healing? What if you're allowed to receive? What if you're allowed to rest? What if you're allowed to succeed because you're you?
boom. With that invitation, I'm Carla Lewis.
I'm DocShellie. We will see you next time. What if you don't have to prove your self-worth? What if you don't have to hustle for your healing? What if you're allowed to receive? What if you're allowed to rest? What if you're allowed to succeed because you're you?